Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. Steve Arterburn here with Becky Brown, sitting right next to me here. And in the studio there in California, Dr. Alice Benton. Hey, Alice, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Now, it is Memorial Day, and if you think that we're sitting in the studio on Memorial Day rather than out there by the lake or the pool, the river, or the stream, or the curb, you are wrong. We're out there. It's a recorded program. Don't need to call in. But you can always call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE because not everybody gets to take off. We always have those phones there, and you can call with any question that you have. But it is Memorial Day, and off the top of my head, reading from my notes, Memorial Day is a federal holiday. It was formerly known as Decoration Day, originated after the Civil War to commemorate the fallen Union soldiers. Now we're remembering all the men and women who served in the armed forces. One of the things that I didn't know about my good friend Dave Stoop is that he was a submariner.
Oh.
Didn't know that until after he had died. And it was just so great to know that about him. And we're going to do his memorial service, by the way, in 12 days. That'll be June the 12th, 10 a.m., Newport Beach, California, at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church.
I have a friend right now, well, he may be gone by now, but he's in his last days in hospice, served in the Vietnam War, but he has such a great heart. A friend of mine visited him in hospice the other day, and he just talked about, the Lord could heal me, but if he doesn't, then I'm going to be with him. But he talked about his time in Vietnam and serving the country and how proud he was to be able to do that. And I am so grateful for our men and women who are serving in all the different areas, and for those families who have loved ones that they've lost. We're thinking of you today.
There are two losses. One is the loss from death, and that's what Memorial Day is all about.
Right.
But I want to tell you, there are other people. The life they had died.
Exactly.
They were injured. Some it literally was mentally, others physically, emotionally, and we honor you on this day, especially this being New Life, and all those that are around you. We just thank you so much for what you sacrificed. We're living in a day when people don't really understand sacrifice in the way that you have, and so thank you for all you've done. Alice, you have something you want to say about that?
I'm experiencing that people's grief is much sharper and more raw with all that we have been through in the last year and a half, 2 years.
There you go.
And we have a God that calls us into intentional grief and lament. And so if what we're saying resonates with you, please let us help you to actively grieve all of these losses. And you're probably feeling more now than perhaps ever before.
Yeah, so true. Well, we love you. We care about you here. We thank you for all that you've done. And I hope and pray that anybody that sacrificed, you've lost someone who was serving, that we're grateful to you too. We honor you. I thank God for people that are willing for the greater good to make a sacrifice. It's what Jesus did, came down to earth, and for the greater good, the greatest good ever, died for every one of us and our sins. And all we have to do is say, I accept Jesus. I accept that he died for my sin. He took the penalty of my sin away. It died with him on the cross. He went into the tomb. And then the power of God raised him up. He couldn't raise himself up. He was dead. God raised him from the dead. And now he is right up there, right by the throne of God. If you question that, you ought to hear all the people in the Bible that saw into heaven and said, I saw a throne, and there was God right there. We'll be back after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., July 23rd to the 25th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. We are back. Alice Benton, Becky Brown, Steve Arterburn here. Let's go to our phones. It is a great day for New Life. If you don't have a new one, we can help you with that. You could call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. How about we go to Carmen? Now, Carmen's calling us all the way from Orlando, Florida. Listens on Sirius XM. Hi, Carmen. How are you today? What's going on?
Well, been married for 31 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Love my husband. He's a wonderful man. He waits on me hand and foot. I do things for him. He's just great, but he's really hard at communicating. And just recently, like a couple of months ago, he plays a computer game on the computer. Now, he's working from home, and I think a lot of this has happened because of that, but I could be wrong because I found out he's been doing this for 3 years.
What's he been doing?
There's a site he goes to, and he has to pay money to talk to these people, and they're called Internet Buddies.
You just yeah. Okay, so he's paying money
and
to talk to women, right?
Yeah, but he's looking at stuff. I stood in the hallway when he was on the computer. He didn't know I was there, and I about fainted at the things he was looking at and
how awful.
was typing.
Okay, so what did you say to him when you discovered that? What did you say?
Well, at first I didn't say anything. I would come through there real fast because he acts real funny. I can always tell when he's doing something he shouldn't because he acts real funny.
Yeah.
And then he just acts like it's no big deal. So when I finally confronted him, I said, I found what he was typing to those people. And he goes, "You don't want to read that. It will hurt you." I go, "What are you talking about? What is this?" And he had written stuff that he didn't put his real name on this site. He used a fictitious name, but she's like, "I want to know your real name." He said, I work from home. My wife and I do everything together. And we do. My husband and I go shopping together. We go grocery shopping together. We're always together. We share a cell phone. We're not doing that right now since this has happened. But we are together all the time, and I love it. I married him. God sent him to me. And,
so what did he say?
I agreed that he was going to meet her. I could go to the office and tell my wife I'm out I could tell my wife I'm at a meeting and be with you. And she said, "What's your real name?" And he told her what his real name was. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." I go, "What is this? I've never."
Carmen, it is devastating to realize your husband is not the man you have believed him to be. He's been a husband who's acted wonderful on the surface and has been willing to betray you for years behind the scenes. Oh, we're so sad for you.
I don't know how long he's been doing it. I've trusted him all my life. We go to church together. We do everything together. I don't understand.
Carmen, it is confusing. It's very confusing. And what you're experiencing is, it's traumatic. It's just, it's a lot for you to really understand. And you can't make sense of stuff like this because it doesn't make sense. I want to know. Say that again.
Crazy. Who
It is.
thinks of stuff like this? I've never thought of that in a million years. I
Right,
haven't even searched online for something like that. I didn't know stuff like
Right.
that went on.
Well, I can guarantee this is so when we talk to folks that are struggling with pornography or these issues, they don't one day just type it into their computer. It happens because they've been exposed to it, they click on something, and then on it goes, and it just becomes. But to Alice's point, who knows how long this has been going. The harder part is, Carmen, what are you going to do? So what, I know this is really upsetting, but go ahead.
He asked me to forgive him. I told him I forgive you. But you know what? In the last 3 months, this monster is starting to tear our marriage apart. And I lost my mom in 2010, and I don't have a best friend to talk to. And I'm just dying. I'm just dying.
Okay, so here is what I would want for you, and it's going to take you a while to get there, but here would be, I think, maybe a really good outcome. Can I share that with you? You ready?
I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening. Honest, I'm trying not to cry, but it's hard.
Okay.
Oh, you're okay. It's okay.
So you might at some point be able to say something like this. We've had a good marriage, and somewhere along the way, something happened to you that's happened to a lot of men. You, in the midst of a good marriage, maybe somebody sent something or you discovered something, and you literally got hooked on it, and it carried you right down that old path. And I'm really glad that I saw the path that you were on. I'm going to forgive you for that because I'm not going to let that eat me alive. But now here's the question.
Right.
And here's the question. So you see, you're not upset. You're not out of control. You've got all your facility, and you're able to say to him, so here's the question. You recognize that somehow you got involved with something. Now I see it. I'm willing to forgive you. But the question is, what are you going to do to repair this damage? Asking for my forgiveness does not repair the damage.
Right.
Telling me you're going to never do it again doesn't repair the damage. Because, see, honey, the damage is to your character. And that's what has split us apart. Now, if you can't come back to me like in a day or so with a plan to repair this, then we're going to have a different conversation in front of a therapist, because I'm really questioning.
We're going to
then I would say
counseling now.
Okay, so I'll talk to you about that in a second. But then just to finish this up, then you would say, because if you're not willing to repair this based on what I've just said, then maybe this wasn't something that just happened and you got caught up in it. Maybe it's even more serious than that. And so we need to talk to a counselor about that. If you already have a counselor, what have you said in counseling about this to the counselor?
I mentioned it, and you know what she said? We're going to counseling. Our daughter is 23 years old and has a lot of issues, and just literally it's cut me out of her life. And I'm trying to restore. We only have one child. I'm trying to restore our family.
So what
And
did the
she's not
counselor say
willing.
about this?
We went without the daughter one time, without her daughter, and she said, "You guys are wonderful. I had no idea." She said, "You need to stay together and stay on the same page. We have always parented and lived on the same page. When we get off the same page, I say, honey, something's not right here either."
Okay.
So
You need to
Carmen,
get back.
Carmen, here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. So that counselor may be for that purpose, but we have counselors in that area. You have to have somebody who's going to address the elephant in the house. And
Yes, because the elephant's getting bigger.
well, and it will. And your daughter is of age, and like I would probably say that has to be secondary. You said she's 23?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
The house is on fire. We gotta take care of the house first.
Exactly.
So it's you and your husband. I would encourage him to go to Every Man's Battle, and you should go to Restore. But I think there's got to be a counselor there in the area. There's got to be. There's more to this than you just stumbling onto what's happened. And when he gets into some recovery, you're going to find out where that wounding occurred, because he's going to have that. Alice?
There's also a risk here, Carmen, that I think you get pulled into. The therapist sounds like she did too, and maybe your husband engages in this, where we try to cover up this very ugly reality by what a great guy he is. You led with how wonderful he is and how he serves you hand and foot. And although that may be part of how he acts with you, if you focus on that too much right now, you're at risk of excusing his infidelity. And it is infidelity. Whether or not he ever met up with these people, he's engaging in infidelity. And I haven't heard much about the mega work he's done in the past 3 months to show you that he wants to be forgiven because he's repenting and becoming a different man. I'm afraid he's not doing that.
Mm-hmm. He sat there this morning. He said, "What can I do to make this better?" And I told him, I said, "You need to get some counseling, and you need to figure this out. And then if I'm still around, and I will be, because I love him to death.
Okay.
I know the Lord put us together.
I love that
you
you.
will be here to listen to what you are going to do." That's what I told him this morning.
Good.
Okay, that's great that you said if I'm still around. I like that. The other thing is, here's a little bit of a dilemma, okay? This guy has ripped your heart out, right?
Oh my Lord.
And he's essentially saying to you, tell me the least amount of thing I can do to keep this marriage in place, versus him coming to you and saying, "Oh gosh, I have hurt you so badly. I'm going to tell you what I've got planned, and you tell me if there's something I'm missing in this plan that would help me win you back. I'm going to go to Every Man's Battle. I'm going to join a men's Bible study. I'm going to tell our pastor what we're dealing with." And then he lays out what he's going to do. But the man that commits the crime and then says to you, "What do I need to do?" I'd be saying to that person, "Well, here's the first thing is you ought to go figure out what you need to do. You need to go come back to me and tell me what you're going to do. Don't ask me what you need to do."
Today.
Good for you, Carmen.
The two-part solution, Carmen, is coming up right here in June, because Every Man's Battle is on June 12th, and Restore for You, which you absolutely need, is on June 25th.
Okay.
All right. There's great hope here.
Yes.
You've said something powerful to him, that you're not just going to put up with this, and it really is what it takes. So sorry for what you have gone through. Very, very sad.
Whenever there's discovery in a relationship like this, the shock is so overwhelming, and we want that feeling to go away. So we look for quick solutions, and what we're needing is some long-term repair, so that character is restored, if it was ever there to begin with, and good connection with each other. Where it's healthy and safe and not bitter, not detached. And I think that that's what your future is, Carmen, as long as you keep doing that work.
And here's what I really wish you'd say. You listen to the program, you've called us, you know what we do here. Say to him, you pick up the phone, you call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, you sign up for the next Every Man's Battle. And I think they're going to help you figure out exactly what you need to do.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, other than if you're not willing to do that, then obviously you're really not into making this better, into restoration here. Glad that you called. I will send you Healing as a Choice. I hope that's going to help you deal with this horrific betrayal. And I'm so sorry that at this stage in life, this is what you find out about. He was going to meet up with this person, and who knows what he's done since then. Let's go to Ann. Anderson, Indiana, listens on the podcast. Hello, Ann. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing all right. Music has started here, but how could we help you today?
I feel like I'm going to have to lie in order to protect my daughter from potential harm. So I'm concerned that that's a sin. Can't really figure out any way around it.
Okay, well, just hold on, and we'll get to the details after this. You're listening to New Life Live. It is part of New Life Ministries, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We do everything we can to help people make the tough decisions. And once they do, life really can be different. We'll take this break, come right back for more of New Life Live. Glad you're with us here today.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 8 books in the Arterburn Wellness series, including Understanding and Loving a Person with Attention Deficit Disorder and Understanding and Loving a Person with Sexual Addiction. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're talking with Ann here from Anderson, and Ann, so what is it that causes you to think I might need to lie to my husband, who is an alcoholic, I think you said?
He is a recovering alcoholic. We've been separated for about 4 months. In our last counseling session, at the very end, he let it slip out how good he's felt the past 4 months not using pornography. And so I said, so you've been lying to me anytime I've confronted you about that over our 18-year marriage? And he shook his head, yeah. So I said, well, what about alcohol? Because I've had suspicion that he's been drinking. And he said he was a sex addict. And so I said, have you been with anyone else? And he said he can't answer those questions. And so I'm waiting 2 weeks for our next counseling appointment to find out what else he's been hiding, hopefully in those 2 areas that he will mention.
And what's the lie thing that you'd have? What's the lie thing you might have to do? Where's that coming?
My daughter is supposed to go. My daughter is supposed to go over there this weekend. When I look up about SA, I'm more likely to be a child molester, and I'm not really comfortable because now it seems like there's a lot of deceit and lies that are coming out, things that he's lied flat out to my face about, especially with the pornography. So how can he be trusted with anything?
Right. And so, Ann, that's what you say. Like, if your concern is that you would be lying to your daughter, you don't have to lie to her. You can just say, it's not a good time for you to go and be with Dad right now. And to your husband, you say...
Well, I mean to him. Oh, okay.
Well, you wouldn't have to lie to him. You just say, and because of what you're bringing up in, counseling, it's not a good time right now. It's not safe. And, it's better to be upfront about these things as opposed to, gritting your teeth and hoping nothing bad happens. You need to pay attention to that intuition. I also would encourage you maybe to get another counseling session. Don't wait for this disclosure, because in the meantime, your apprehension and your anxiety is building up, and that affects you as well.
What's the worst thing you're afraid he'll do if you're honest about why you don't want your daughter to go with him?
I'm really afraid of him. I mean, even just him asking me about the plans for getting her this weekend send chills down my spine. I'm afraid if I confront him about it, that he's not going to disclose everything that he needs to or that he would plan to next weekend counseling. If I bring up that I'm concerned about that. I mean, he's going to lose more credibility with me the more that comes out if he knows that he's going to lose something else. So that was my plan for making up that she's sick or something.
What kind of support do you have, Ann, other than this particular counselor that the two of you work with?
I have my own personal counselor. I've been through the divorce care, through the churches with the counselors there. I'm meeting with a minister tonight through my parents' church. I'm thinking a lot of different people. But.
Okay, and he's your ex-husband, though, right?
No, we're not divorced yet. It's only been 3 to 4 months. My personal counselor says if you have any concerns about her being with him, that she is not to be over there.
Right.
And that I need to confront him about if he's touching her or anything like this in the next counseling appointment.
Okay, so here's what I think you need to do. You need to say to your daughter, as Becky said, you know what, this is not a good time to be there. That's an option. Another option is for you to plan to do something with your daughter, and you go do that. On the one, you do need to say to him, I'm going to tell her it's not a good time for her to be with you. Because it isn't a good time. That's all you have to say. The other one is, sorry she can't be with you as planned. We're going to go do this. And if you're really afraid of him and what he might do something with her and make him and let him be angry that you decided to do something with her rather than him get his time with her. But in the counseling session, you're going to have to be really upfront with him. So there's no lying. That doesn't help anything. So you either tell him, I'm not going to bring her because we're doing something really special. We're going to go spend the night somewhere, whatever. Or you just tell him, honey, I've told her it's not a good time because it isn't a good time.
Right.
So she's not coming.
And here's the thing. He is not safe. You know that he's not safe.
That's right.
And if he were a stranger, you would not think 2 seconds for her to go over there. Like if it was one of her girlfriend's dads, for example, you'd say, you're not going to Susie's house because it's not safe. The hard part in these types of relationships is we get real confused about what the right thing is to do, but we need the support to be able to do the right thing. That's why I was asking about who's in your corner. And if he gets angry, I want to make sure, Ann, that you are someplace where you are safe and his anger gets the best of him, not you. And I think that's what I would say would be the best way forward.
And be prepared that you might need legal protection, you might need an order of protection, you might need a different order of custody so that you have control over your daughter's exposure to him.
Exactly. And to keep her safe. The last thing we want is for her to be exposed to something that you know is not a safe environment, and for her to then say, Mom, if you knew this, why did you let me go over there? And I just want to encourage you, Ann, lean on your parents, lean on those people that are strong around you to help you.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, June 25th through the 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Very, very difficult situations. And I just think anyone with a child, letting them do a sleepover at somebody else's house or with an ex or whatever, and you aren't 100%, well, we can never be 100% sure, but do you have any doubts whatsoever?
Pay attention.
You have to pay attention to those doubts. I never doubt the integrity of Larry Sonnenberg, and he's in the studio today, right now, with us. Larry, how you doing?
Doing good, Steve. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's going on in your life today here at this start of June? Feeling good about life?
Well, yes. I wanted to just thank everybody who has given. This is the day we needed to be met by. And you mentioned earlier that this is a recorded program, so I can't report with 100% certainty, but I'm almost 100% certain it will have been matched. And I made a mistake reporting to staff a few days ago. I made a comment. I said we brought in. I was going to say how much money had come in, and I stopped myself. We didn't bring anything in. You know, you, our friends and listeners, you stepped up and you gave, and many sacrificially. And I want to thank you for that giving. And if you haven't yet given to the match, this is the last day, so please do that. And if we're overmatched, we'll find someone to match the overmatch. But I want to read a note that I think closes up this campaign really well. I've said a few prayers, and today one prayer that your matching gift will be met in time. My grandma would say, prayers are powerful, and no one knows the power of prayer. So I just asked my grandma, who must be in heaven, to intercede to Jesus to meet the match. May he answer this prayer along with all the prayers that have gone up to him for a successful money match to your ministry. And she signed her name. And
that's so sweet.
Yeah, and we neglect that prayerful part a little too much, or maybe not personally or corporately even, but we don't talk about it. And I just want to thank everybody, in addition to their financial support. Thank you for praying for New Life, whether it's a match or anything else. We appreciate it. We depend upon it, and it's what keeps us going. So thank you, and hope you had a good day today, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, everybody, for the help that you've been. And it just is overwhelming to see people support us like this. And I pray that you will know that we're going to put it to good use in reaching more people to help them transform their lives. And if you want to be part of what we do, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Appreciate it. Thank you, Larry.
All righty.
All right, let's go over here and talk with Amy, Wasilla, Alaska, calling from KATB. Hello, Amy. How are you today?
Hi. How are you doing? I'm okay.
What's going on in your life? How can we help?
Well, I have a son with sexual addiction. It all blew up here the other day when we found out about it the night before our youngest son got married, and it really put a damper on the whole thing. I had an older son, a younger son from previous. This is my husband's son that has the addiction. My youngest son did not invite the older son to the marriage. He's been very distant. He doesn't want anything to do with us, and now we're figuring it out. It's more, the less people you're involved with, the less lies you got to remember, The girlfriend that he cheated on this time, she's only been around about a year and a half. They were in a cheating situation when they got together, and it goes very deep. I'm very upset about this Halamoy relation. I mean, that's an actual thing I'm being told, and a lifestyle. Do you know what that is?
Yes, and so
it's more than one partner.
Yeah, right.
Is what I'm told.
So you've called us for our help. How do you think we could do that? How could we do that?
What I need is I have a place on a lake. He comes here with his boat on weekends with a lot of different people. I'm not feeling comfortable with it now. I don't want to push him away. How do I accept this but still be around him?
So,
or do
Amy,
I accept it?
Have you had a conversation with him?
My husband has.
Okay.
He's so mad at me because the girlfriend Facebooked me crying about it, and I pretty much said, well, this is the lifestyle you chose. I just don't have a lot of sympathy for her because
that's okay.
She was cheating with him when they met, and that's terrible to say, but that's how I feel.
Okay, so you're really wounded by all of this, and it sounds like you're really kind of surprised by his behavior, although you guys have been distant for a long time. Is that kind of the picture? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you want to be the result? Do you want to be in relationship with him?
Of course. I want him to be able to come here, have fun, but I just don't want this parade of women.
Right. Okay.
I'm tired of it.
And how old is he?
Mid-30s, very professional.
Okay, well, kind of. So here's the
as far as a job.
Exactly.
As a job. Yes.
I know, but it carries over.
Successful.
I mean, character runs deep, right? So my encouragement to you would be that you and your husband and the son all sit down together over a cup of coffee and just talk about this, because the only way that you have any influence in his life is to be able to speak into his life. Right now you're really mad and upset, and you're asking, should I let him come over? And you might need a time of distance, but to find out, what is this all about? And I don't know what your husband's take is on this, because he raised him, right? And so there's that kind of conversation, but that would be the beginning step in order to have influence and help him to have a better commitment to the relationships that he's in, would be to first start with that conversation. But Alice, what are you thinking?
Well, Amy, if it sounds like he comes to the lake house and he participates in his sexual lifestyle there, perhaps at the lake house, bringing various women, and you don't want to be a part of that, and you don't want your home and your property to enable that activity. And so it is good for you and your husband to decide the limits, and perhaps it is, son, you're welcome to come alone. Maybe he's, welcome to come with the one girlfriend that he has because he has so many more. But decide how you are willing to let him come and visit you and offer that. But just know that if you do that, it will anger him. He doesn't want a limit set on him, and he may refuse to come at all anymore. But you have to keep your side of the street spiritually clean of what you allow to take place on your property.
Yeah. Would you clarify what your husband's feelings are about this and about you and your feelings about it?
Well, he he met with him and discussed with him, and the main thing, it's deflecting. They're all mad at me.
Okay.
Because,
all right.
So he went down that road, and he's saying he just doesn't want any more lies.
Okay,
that
so
this lying
here
is hurting people, and that's our stance.
Okay, so here's what you do not have to apologize for. You ready? You, as a mature grown-up, do not have to apologize that you had a partnership with your husband where you did certain things, he did certain things, and it was successful enough that you were able to buy a lake house. And you don't have to apologize that in this stage of your life, you want to enjoy that lake house. That lake house is an extension of your house. And at your house and at your lake house, you don't have to apologize for having a code of conduct that you expect people to abide by. You will not allow them to come in and set your house on fire. That's a given. But you also will not allow them to come in and act like hell or do anything they want to do in your house or your lake house. You don't have to apologize for that. And if your husband can't see that you are entitled to be there and enjoy it, you didn't do all of this to have a lake house for him to pull his boat up to and bring 2 or 3 or 1 woman that you don't think abides by the rules of your lake house. That's just something that you're entitled to as a grown woman who has succeeded in life with your husband and own a lake house.
Well, and Amy, to follow up, do you feel supported by your husband in this stance?
Said he was mad at it.
No.
Right.
He is wishy-washy, really soft-hearted, wants everybody to get along, wants to put out all the fires. I'm just supposed to shut up, sit down. And my parents bought this in 1963, and we built this home behind the old cabin, and it's really amazing. And it's my peace place. I have a prayer bench. I'm just
special.
devastated.
I just triple dog what I said about you not having to apologize. Triple dog it, and I just pray that your
husband needs to be united with you. Your son is an adult. If he doesn't want to abide by what you guys have as standards, that's his problem. But your husband needs to be supportive of you in this.
I'm glad you called. We'll take a break. Come right back after this. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 8 books in the Arterburn Wellness series, including Understanding and Loving a Person with Depression and Understanding and Loving a Person with Alcohol and Drug Addiction. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. I just hope and pray that if one of the kids is, doing something, that you as parents can get behind each other and have a unified presence with them.
Well, and it's interesting because it's not a kid. It's an adult.
Yeah.
So, the relationship, marriage is a lifelong journey. It's not just when they're little. It's like you got these adult kids that seem to be wanting to run the show there.
So true. Hi, Mary, Ashburn, Virginia, WAVA. How are you today?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing all right. I always enjoy doing the program with Alice and Becky, but how could we help you? What's going on that caused you to call a program today? What's happening?
I have a big problem. I've been married for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, that's when I found out my husband was having an affair, and I confronted him, which I even begged him if I have offended him for him to act that way, and he the affair, and later on said there was something going on, but because he's been caught, so he's no longer with this lady. Mm-hmm. But I realized too, this lady, he has purchased a house for her, which this lady even have a child, which is the child is my child is 1 year older than this child, which is my last child, which I don't know if he is the father of this child or not, because he travels a lot.
Okay. So what's going on with him now? What's happening between him and you?
When I confronted him with the affair, he never apologized for what he did. The only thing he said was forgive and forget. So that was it. That was his apology. So then I started monitoring him with his phone, in his car, and I even realized they were still talking, which I have all the messages with me. Whatever they discussed, I have it with me. I confronted him again, and he said the relationship is no longer going on. It was so stressed and depressing, so I stopped monitoring what he was doing with this lady. And he later one day called me and said the affair is no longer going on. But the thing is, I really, really don't trust him.
Okay, what is the question? What's the question for us? What is the question? Because we don't have a lot of time. I want to try to help you. What is the question?
Can you be married and not trust your partner at the same time?
Absolutely. That's the short answer.
Yeah, well, you can, but here's another piece of this that I want to save you some time investigating or asking about. From all that you've said, you don't seem to matter all that much to him. Now, isn't that horrible to hear? You don't matter enough to him that he would say something more than forgive and forget. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anything about him falling to the floor on his knees, weeping, realizing how horrific his behavior has been, because I don't think he cares all that much about you.
So, Mary, I have a question. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
I'm trying to purchase a house without his knowledge, which I don't know. I'm tired of everything. Even when his phones ring, he has to take the phone call outside to make that call or take that call. So all that make me not trust him at all.
Are you safe,
to get
Mary?
a house?
Are you safe?
Sorry. I am safe. We still live in the same house, but I don't trust anything that he does.
Are you going to stay? Are you going to stay married to him?
I really don't know.
Well, because
I don't know what the right decision to make.
Well, there's a lot of confusion here, Mary. There's a lot of confusion, and I think for your benefit, you have to get some clarity. And the forgive and forget thing is for his benefit, not yours.
It's a cover-up.
It is, and you're right to not trust him because he's not trustworthy. And meantime, he bought a house for another woman. Why would you want to have to keep secret, a purchased house for you? Or, for that matter, say, you know what, you need to go. Since we can't be in the same house and you take a phone call, maybe you just need your own house and you stay where you are. But there's a lot to this, and I don't think you're going to figure this out on your own. I think you're going to need some help and some guidance and support.
And we agree that being separated from him is probably necessary because he's got a double life. And everything he has said so far sounds like it's all a lie. It's all to allow him to continue undercover what he's been doing all this time. But I don't think the secretive purchase of a house is the best way to go about protecting yourself from his ongoing manipulation and lying. I think you would need to consider a legal separation to protect yourself.
Let me just say this because we're out of time. And an unpardonable symptom of an unpardonable sin in marriage is taking a phone call and you have to go outside to talk. That's a symptom. You just don't let that go. There's no explanation that is valid for that to happen over and over again. So you need to act on that. He is still engaged in secret things and relationships that pop up on his phone every now and then, and I think you have to act on that. And I really do believe anything less than declaring we are no longer married here. You've chosen that, and I'm going to go fill out some paperwork to finalize it to see if maybe that would get him to turn around. I doubt it will. Right. He's in the weeds very deeply. Right. But you need to protect yourself legally, emotionally. You've been encouraged here to get some really good counseling. You need a great therapist to help you walk through this. And I am so sorry for what you're going through. I would say to anyone, male or female, if your spouse, if the phone rings and they're hopping outside, what are you doing that's allowing that to take place? It's just something you can't be ignoring. All right. Well, these kind of things really get me because it's just blatant betrayal. It's so demeaning of the other person that you think they should be able to just ignore it.
I recall times in my practice where I would have a couple where there would have been an affair, and I would ask the person, the offending person, I'd say, what kept you from just telling them that I'm not going to be faithful to you? And of course they look at me cross-eyed like, well, of course, why would I do that? It would hurt them. Well, but you're hurting them now. So if you're going to cheat, you might as well be upfront about it because it's eventually going to come out. And, the hard part about this particular situation is there's multiple layers of deception. And it doesn't start that way all the time. It usually just starts one little deceiving word or thought or action.
Yeah.
It all ends in destruction.
Would you call us if you need some help? It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Becky. Have a great Memorial Day. Hope it's a good day for you. If you're doing some crummy stuff, get some help.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.